In case of a continuous grouped distribution, in case of a continuous grouped distribution, median and mode, continuous grouped frequency distribution. I'm sorry, I should have written continuous grouped frequency distribution, median and mode are calculated as follows. As follows. First, let me write the formula for median. Then I will write about mode. First, median. I will also brief you what is this continuous grouped frequency distribution after writing the formula. Median is L1 plus L2 minus L1 into M minus C divided by F suffix ME. So now let us write what are all this, where L1 is lower limit of the median class. L2 is upper limit of the median class. Small m is nothing but capital N divided by 2, where capital N is sum of all the frequencies. And what else is left? C. C is cumulative frequency of the class preceding median class. Now, what else is left? We wrote about L1, we wrote about L2, we wrote about M, we wrote about C, then this F suffix ME. I will say F suffix ME is frequency of the median class. Okay, in all this, you may notice a common word is occurring: median class everywhere. So what is median class? Median class is the class where the small m, whatever we calculate, what is that m? Capital N by 2, where small m occurs, which can be identified using the cumulative frequency column. Again, we will understand when we do a numerical example for this. Okay, so we wrote a formula and we wrote the explanation of each of these symbols. L1 means what, L2 means what, M means what. Only thing is this one, to identify this median class, it will be better if we do that when we will be able to understand when we do a numerical problem. Now comes next formula, which will be mode. I will write that. Mode is equal to L plus F1 minus F0 divided by 2 times F1 minus F0 minus F2. This whole thing multiplied by small I, where L is lower limit of model class. Model class. F1 is frequency of model class. F0 is frequency of the class preceding model class. F2 is frequency of the class succeeding model class. Succeeding model class. Now what else is left? L we wrote, F1 we wrote, F0 we wrote, F2 we wrote, I we have to write. I is model class width or size. Now we wrote all this. Now what is model class? Model class is the class which has the highest frequency. Which has the highest frequency. Like again, there is a possibility that more than one class may have a highest frequency. In that case, what you do? Again, you do the same thing. What we did in the non-frequency case. In case if more than one class has the highest frequency, then we calculate then we calculate mode using the empirical relationship formula. Now let us understand. I said I will also brief you about this one. What do you call it? Yeah, continuous grouped frequency distribution means what? I said I will brief you. Let us see what it is. Before we go to that continuous frequency, grouped frequency distribution, one by one we will go. I will say, let us consider the following data. Of marks. Marks of students. Marks of students in a class. Let us consider some 24 students are there in a class, and I'm capturing the data about their marks scored in a particular subject. So let's say 74, 83, 97, 100, 60, 88, then say 93, then 66, 70, right? And then 74, we say 97, 100, then 74, 66, 82, then I will say 63, 67, 95. So I said 24 students. Let me write further. Let me write again. 62, 68, 75, 63, 60, and 100. Okay. So this data is either called as a raw data. Raw data. Why I am saying raw data? There is nothing like a count is calculated. I mean, here it is not, it is 74 is coming how many times? Here also it is coming, here also it is coming, here also it is coming. 1, 2, 3. 3 times 74 is coming. Similarly, you may notice 100 is coming 3 times. That is not captured like that. Simply whatever is the data, you simply wrote. That is why you call it as a raw data. Raw data, comma, ungrouped. I didn't make any class, means I am not making it as 60 to 70, 70 to 80. Like that I didn't do. Ungrouped and non-frequency. No frequencies are assigned. I can say non-frequency distribution. So it is no grouping done, non-frequency distribution. Okay. Now, let me write now, how do we create a frequency distribution? Okay. So now I can create some table. Here I will say marks. Here I will say frequency. FREQ simply. Now, what is the least marks among all this if you look into? I think least is 60. Here also it is occurring. Here also it is occurring. So I can say 62 times because it is occurring 2 times. Now, what is the next least? Next least is 62. It's occurring only once. Yes, so 62, I can put it as frequency as 1 because it is occurring only once. Then the next 63, it's occurring here and here. So I'll say 63 2 times. Then uh, next highest is there 64? No. Then 65? No. 66? Yes. Here it is. Here it is. So I can say 66 2 times. 67 is there? No. Yeah, it is there. 67. 1 time. Then 68 is there? Yes, it is there. Only once. 69 is there? No. 70 is there? Yes. Here it is. 71 is there? No. 72? No. 73? No. 74? Yes. One is here, then here, and then here. So I can say 74 is 3 times. Then 75, yes, it is there. I can say 75 once. 76, no. 77, no. 78, no. 79, no. 80, no. 81, no. 82, yes. 83, yes. 84, not there. 85, no. 86, no. 87, 88. 88 is there. 90, no. 91, 92, 93. 93 is there. 94, 95. 95 is there. Only once. 96, 97. 97 is there. 2 times. And then 100 is there. 2 times. Here and here. This is total. This, if I add these frequencies, I should definitely get 24. Let us see. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 23. Something missing. Means I might have written some. Here also there is 100, which I missed it. So this is 3. That means exactly we will get now 24. So that the way the data is expressed now, it is actually called as frequency distribution. Frequency distribution. Generally, we consider this marks as variable x, frequency as f. That is how we express. Now, we understood what is a raw data, which is ungrouped and non-frequency distribution. This is frequency distribution. Again, ungrouped. I didn't create any groups. So I'll say ungrouped frequency distribution, right? Now, Now let us understand how do we create grouped frequency distribution using the same data. Let me write how we create grouped frequency distribution. We may notice that the least is 60, highest is 100. So we will also create our group starting from 60 only. Means I will create a group like this by creating a table. Let us say 60 to 69, I'll create one group. Then 70, 80, 90, 100 means I'll create some 6 rows and yeah, like this I'll create. Here I'll call it as marks. I'll create a grouping like 60 to 69. Then 70 to 79. Then 80 to 89. 90. Oh, I should have made one more. Huh? Okay, no problem. Okay, take 99. Then I'll have one more for 100. Okay. So here I will write frequency 60 to 69. How many are there? So we just counted these observations 60 to 69, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. And I wrote that as 9 and this total is matching. So this is actually a group frequency distribution. Reason is you already uh, created groups like 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, and then capturing the frequency. That is why it is called as a grouped frequency distribution. Now let us understand what do we mean by continuous grouped frequency distribution. Continuous, continuous grouped frequency distribution. Here, this is not continuous. Reason is it is ending at 69, starting at 70. There is a gap between 69 and 70. It is not continuous. Instead, if it is ending with 69, again starting with 69, for example, then it becomes a continuous grouped frequency distribution. So I can do a continuous grouped distribution like this. Let me just make it. Make the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows and 2 columns. Here, let me say marks. Here, let me say frequency. If I write now 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. Here I will say total. In this, how do we capture the frequency? Let's see that. When I consider 60 to 70, I will consider 60, but I will not consider 70. Means such class, you call it as exclusive classes. Exclusive classes. Means here 70 is excluded in the first class, whereas 80 is excluded in the second class. Then like that it will go. So here also I should actually make a separate thing for 100 because there 100 won't be considered. Yeah, here I should again show 100 just for the convenience sake. Now 60 to 70. I should not consider 70 in this. So that means again it will be the same only, 9 only. 70 to 80, here 80 should not be considered. Again the frequency will remain the same, 5. Here 90 will not be considered. So again the frequency will be 3 only, no change. Here 100 will not be considered. So again it will be 4 only. This one 3. Means here in the first class, I will say in the first class, let me shorten this. In the first class, 60 to 70, the frequency corresponding to 70 will not be considered. That's why you say it is exclusive, because 70 is excluded. So such frequency distribution, you call it as a continuous grouped frequency distribution. What is the difference between here? Here it is ending with 69 and starting with 70, whereas here it is ending with 70, starting with 70. It is continuously going. Ending with 80, starting with 80. Ending with 90, starting with 90. Ending with 100, starting with 100. That is why you call it as a continuous. Even though the last group, it is not a group because I can't help it, because it is that my marks scored are from 60 to 100. But just we made this for us to understand the differences between what do you mean by a raw data, or also called as ungrouped non-frequency distribution. What do you mean by a grouped frequency distribution? sorry, what is me? What do you mean by an ungrouped frequency distribution? What do you mean by a grouped frequency distribution? And what do you mean by a continuous grouped frequency distribution? For that understanding purpose, we just created one data and we thought of understanding through that data. That is the main thing. You may ignore the last one. I mean, 100 you may ignore because it is not like a group, whereas definitely all the others are like a group, right? So this is about your uh, meaning of this continuous grouped frequency distribution, what we wrote here in the beginning of this median and mode. Here we wrote the meaning, I mean, continuous grouped frequency distribution. Just we wrote this in order to understand that we took a data of our own and then created those things to understand the differences, right? In case if you find the contents of this video to be useful to you, I request you to please like, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.